Muito bom dia a todos. Muito bom tê-los novamente no segundo dia aqui do Liferay Symposium 2015. Como eu lhes comentei ontem, o dia de hoje vai ser crucial. Lançamento de produtos, funcionalidades que agregam altíssimo valor ao negócio, além de vários sorteios no final do dia, networking, a gente vai ter um coquetel especial no Espaço da Lareira, às 5h15 da tarde. Tá? Então convido todos, por favor, para participarem dos sorteios também que vocês já têm interagido com os seus game boards. Para o primeiro keynote do dia, então, eu gostaria de convidar o Product Manager da Liferay na Espanha para proferir a palestra Liferay, a Mobile Experience Platform, e apresentar o presente e futuro das tecnologias móveis na Liferay. Juan Fernandes.
Bom dia. Good morning, everyone. I hope you had a great day yesterday. I've heard that in the city you have had a lot of mobility problems today, so perfect talk about mobile today. So let's see if you're waking up. Who has a mobile website already? Raise your hand. Mobile website? Okay. Mobile apps? Any enterprise mobile app? Okay, so there's so much to do here. Nice. So I wanted to start my talk with this slide. So this is from last Friday in the United States. It was Black Friday. It is the first time for the last 5 years that mobile consumption of content is bigger than desktop. And 1/3 of every purchase done in the States was done via a mobile app. So times are changing, and we see this a crazy evolution in the pace that these changes are happening in our market, right? In the last 5 years, we have seen an evolution in the kind of projects our customers are doing with Liferay. At the beginning, all our customers start building websites, building portals, building customer portals or intranets. These kind of projects has been web-based projects for a long time. But in the last couple of years, we have seen that there has been a different trend going on in our projects. More and more customers are asking, okay, I have my portal, now I need to go mobile. And we see an increasing number of customers that directly go mobile without even all the web components, right? So we are seeing a shift in the market. So I have the opportunity to travel around the world to talk to many customers across different industries. And after seeing statistics like the one I've shown before, it is obvious that for many customers across any industry, investing on mobile is crucial. And this is one of the first questions that they ask me when I talk about mobile strategy. Should I build a mobile website? Should I build a mobile app? What should I do, right? And I always answer that this is the wrong question. You shouldn't build a mobile website or a mobile app. You need to analyze your strategy to understand that these are not exclusive technologies. These are complementary. There are cases where you need a mobile website, there are cases where you need a mobile app, or both, right? So this is something that it is extremely important to understand. So if we start with mobile web, I think that every story in the digital world should start with a mobile web. As you know, even if you had the best mobile app in the market, not everyone is going to directly install it. They need to know about your product, about your company, and a mobile website is what gives you the ability to be searchable so that you can be found as a product, as a service, or as a company, right? So every story starts with a mobile website. Then these mobile websites, there is something really important. You know, if you are outside in the internet, you know that Google means money to you, right? It brings you traffic, it brings you customers, it brings you money, right? So after the mobile get on, Google decided that they were going to penalize all websites that weren't ready for the mobile world, right? So that means that no Google, no money, easy, right? So you need to go mobile in your website. And finally, we have seen that an increasing number of customers are receiving so much traffic from mobile devices that is even surpassing the amount of traffic that they are receiving from desktops. So you need to be sure to provide the right experience. We saw how McDonald's was receiving almost 60% of their traffic from mobile devices, and they weren't prepared for that, so they needed to adapt their websites to mobile devices, right? So these are good reasons to start investing on mobile web. There are different possible strategies when you start analyzing how to create your website, your mobile website. And the first iteration, and that happened to us in Liferay a couple of years ago, is to make everything fit in a small screen, right? So you have 100 options and you try to fit everything in a small screen. And that sometimes works, but other times doesn't work at all, right? So this is something that we have started applying to our own product, and we recommend to our customers, is to think in mobile-first web design in a way that you simplify everything so that it is so small, so simple, so direct that it fits in a small screen, and then if you have more space, then you can grow and keep adding services, keep adding features or space or images, etc. So how we are doing this? Brian mentioned Lexicon yesterday. Lexicon is our design guidelines that we are applying in Liferay 7, and they are already available for you if you want to have a look at those patterns and how that user experience is defined. And it has been created mobile first by default. Every single app, every single interaction with the product has been designed to be mobile first and then grow to other devices. So to show you an example, we invested a lot of time analyzing each of our apps, for example, blogs. And we decided to simplify the experience so that in this space, you could create, manage, and do everything related to managing blogs, and then scale starting from that point. So if you are able to do everything on this screen, when you go to a tablet, much better. Right? You have, you can see more things, but everything remains constant, consistent, and it's the same user experience across different devices. And then when you go to a full desktop UI, then you have all the options. Every single feature was available in all three sizes of the screens, but they are simplified so that the user experience is consistent across all devices in a meaningful way. So that is about mobile web. But what about mobile apps? You know that more and more companies are building mobile apps. Actually, there's a report from Gartner that they are seeing in all industries, all verticals, all demographic, all regions, they are seeing a huge explosion on the amount of enterprise apps, both internal-facing and external-facing, that companies are building. And that is a challenge. That is a technological challenge for CIOs, technological challenge for developers, for companies to adapt their business models, their business processes to this new market. And why are they investing in mobile apps? There are several reasons. Some of them might affect you, some of them not. But basically, they want to provide the best user experience to their customers that are on the go. They want to make sure that their products and services reach all these users. They want to engage, and mobile is an excellent tool to engage and to promote loyalty among your users, your customers, your employees. And it's the best tool to always be communicating. And also, we have extremely powerful devices nowadays. We have devices that allows us to communicate with customers, but also to use cameras, geoposition, Bluetooth, offline. There are so many options in there. The technology is right in your hands. So there are so many opportunities for business. So that is why our companies are investing in mobile apps. So I want to go and talk a little bit about what our customers are demanding us, what our customers across all the industries are starting to build, are creating apps for. So the most used type of mobile apps are content-based mobile apps. You know, A great part of our customer base use Liferay to manage their content. So when they start looking at mobile, going mobile, they think in apps that allows them to share this information, this content with their end users. So they focus on spreading news, downloading documents, displaying videos, but also forms. Ed Chang, on his presentation yesterday, talked a lot about forms and the importance of forms, how it is the best way to communicate with your users, and it's the best way for your users to provide feedback and to talk to you, so to speak. So those are main drivers for building mobile apps. Then we have the mobile workforce. More and more employees are outside of the office, are out of reach from desktop or laptops, and they still need to interact with your content with information that is crucial for them to work for you, right? So we see more and more field technicians that need to access information from the company, sales people that are on the road talking to customers who need to provide information and materials to those customers, and they don't have a laptop, they don't have a computer they can sit on and interact with them. And in that scenario, having offline support is crucial. Being able to interact with this information, the corporate information, without having a proper internet connection because you are on the countryside or because you are on remote areas of your country is crucial. So that is another important technological challenge to solve in the mobile world. And finally, notifications. There are customers that are building mobile apps only for the notifications. I presented about this yesterday, about how in audience targeting we are integrating with Liferay Push to make sure that the messages from the portal reach your customers' pockets. And there are more and more companies that are building mobile apps just to be in touch with customers, to make sure that they are engaged. So after an investment in a portal, after the investment that you are doing in an intranet, in a public portal, in a public website, having this kind of proactive communication channel with your customers is fundamental. And notifications via mobile apps is one of the most used scenarios. So we've been talking about the market needs. And the next question is, okay, that is what your customers need, but what can we as Liferay do for you, our customers, to support your mobile strategy? So I'm going to talk about the different technologies and the different products that we have nowadays that you can start using today, and the ones that we are investing for in the future. Building mobile apps for the company is not just building mobile apps. You build something, you make it available in the market, and that's it, right? That would be a very naive vision of what's going on. Building mobile apps means developing, of course, but it means integrating with your backend systems. It means managing those apps, because there are some statistics that says that from here to 5 years, every company will have from 3 to 12 mobile apps, right? So that means that you need to manage so many mobile apps in your enterprise that can be challenging. And then you need to measure everything, right? You cannot improve what you cannot measure. So this is the whole vision of our real mobile strategy. So let me go one by one to see what we provide for each of those stages. When we start with app development, our first tool is Liferay Screens. Liferay Screens, for those who don't know it, is a library of visual and reusable components for native apps that are directly connected to your portal. Those are components that allows you to reuse all the functionality that you have in Liferay portal, but from mobile devices, writing pure native code and already with UI interfaces so that you don't need to worry about design, about the user experience. It's already provided to you. Basically, the benefits are that it reduces the amount of time that you need to develop native apps. That is a common complaint, that it takes too long to develop mobile apps. So we created Liferay Screens so that you can just drag and drop those components, and in case you need authentication, you need to access content, you need to access account information, user images, entries or assets of any kinds from your portal, you can access them directly from your native mobile apps without having to deal with all the API calls, without having to understand how Liferay works. Okay, so if you have pure mobile developers, they will feel that everything is natural. Everything is written on their language. Liferay Screens, it's built by components. And each component, I don't want to get too technical. We have a technical talk about how to develop mobile apps. Silvio Santos, one of our rock stars for mobile development, is going to do a very interesting talk about this. But the idea is that we have decoupled how the information is shown, the UI, and the local business logic, so that you can completely change the behavior and the look and feel of each of those components. And you can add them to any app that you have already built. So if you have a native app and you want to integrate with your user management system in Liferay Portal, you just drag and drop this component and you're ready to go. So which components do we have available? The one you see far in the right is our forms component. It is really interesting to see how like 80% of our mobile projects are based on forms. So the fact that you have the power to define forms online in your Liferay portal and then immediately see them on the mobile app, and then being able to translate the form to several languages, and you see it refreshed live in your mobile app. Or you can change the form, the fields that are being shown in that form, and without having to redeploy through the different marketplaces and having your customers download the new version, you can modify the behavior of the mobile app. It's one of the greatest added value. But it's not only forms. You can use login, or you can use the UI for forgot password. You can show list of assets, sign up, user portrait, DDL list, web content. I mean, the main features that you have in the portal are now available through these components in native mobile apps. And of course, you can customize them. You can change the look and feel. You can change the appearance of each app, so that if you are building several apps, you can reuse the look and feel, or you can reuse the same app for different customers or from different departments, if that's the case. I've been talking about offline support. Offline is one of the biggest challenges for mobile development. And starting with Screens 1.2 that we released a couple months ago, we provided offline support for all our apps. So now when you are using our technology, if you display web content or documents or forms and you run out of connection and you lose your Wi-Fi connection or your 3G connection, you store all the information so that the users can still interact with it, create new entities, fill in new forms. And then when we detect this connectivity again, everything is synchronized with the servers. So this allows us to provide this value that we were talking about. So if you have salespeople going on the road, they don't need to have a proper connectivity to show beautiful presentations to your customers, because everything is stored and everything still works whether you have connectivity or not. Okay, this is really interesting. Another key trend in the mobile world is mobile marketing. But more than mobile marketing is the personalization and showing the right information to the right users in the mobile apps. The mobile world is often known as very rigid, in the sense that mobile apps don't adapt as fast as the web world, right? What we decided to do with Liferay Screens is to integrate it with our audience targeting application, so that you can segment all your users based on the behavior both in the app and the website, group them, and then show different campaigns, show different contents, and even show different behaviors, different buttons, depending on who you are, depending on the segments. And you can modify that directly from your dashboard in your web, and the app will respond to that in real time. So real-time personalization. So that's Liferay Screen. What if something is not covered by Liferay Screens? Because we have a set of tools, a set of components, but what if something is not provided yet? So We have our service builder. For those who are not familiar, it basically allows you to define a service in a very simple file. You run a command and it generates the whole stack in the server side, and it exposes an API, a service for that custom service that you have created. And then once you have that service published in your Liferay portal, you can access that information and interact with those services, both custom and out-of-the-box services, via the mobile SDK. Mobile SDK is a tool that generates the native code to interact with those custom and out-of-the-box services, and it provides added value features like authentication, remote service calls. It helps you with parsing JSON, async calls, batch calls, all these kind of menial tasks so that you don't need to deal with it. You can focus on business value and we'll take care of all the boring part, right? Liferay push. We have been talking about the importance of push notifications, and that is why we decided to create Liferay push. Liferay push is an extremely simple tool that allows you to communicate your portal to your mobile apps. This way, with Liferay push, from many of your portlets, from many of your portal applications, you can send notifications to Liferay push, and we'll take care to send it to Android and iOS platforms, so we make sure that they get to the different mobile apps. Okay. And also SMSs. We have added Twilio integrations so that not only you can send push notifications, but also SMSs to your customers. If you attended my talk yesterday, I talked about how we are integrating this with audience targeting so that you can create marketing campaigns that use all this mobile technology to make sure that your audience receives the information in the most meaningful channel possible. It can be SMS, it can be push, it can be email, right? Enterprise integration. It is important to understand that mobile apps are not isolated items. We have been talking about silos a lot. Brian's presentation yesterday was all about silos. So we need to make sure that on a mobile device, on a mobile app, we reuse and integrate with all third-party systems, right? So that is why Liferay is very well considered an enterprise framework or an enterprise integration framework, because all the integrations that we do with third-party systems, with ERP, CRMs, are exposed and are available for mobile apps. So this is extremely interesting when you start building mobile apps and use screenlets that reuse your authentication system, your user management system, or use mobile SDK to interact with all those services, integrating with the CRM, with your ERPs, etc. And also, we have our APIs for all our components so that you can reuse all your business logic that you have developed, and of course, authentication system. But it's not only that. Enterprise integration, it's all about security. We've been talking a lot with banks that want to go, they want to start the journey in the mobile banking sector. And it's all about security, right? So this is one of the key investments that we are doing now. It's the ability to encrypt all the data that is stored in the phone, ability not to store anything at all, the ability to add passcodes so that you force your users to interact with your app after having additional credentials. So having security in mind is one of the key values that we are trying to promote. Okay, so that was about building the app, but the story doesn't end there, right? I mean, you have one app or you have 100 apps, we don't know. You need to manage them, right? And that sounds like a challenge. So in Liferay, you know, we have the control panel as a centralized way to manage all your users, permissions, services, apps, etc. So what we want to do is the same, but for mobile apps. And for that, we have created the Consumer Manager. Consumer Manager is a management tool that allows you to register all your mobile apps or your enterprise mobile apps, and gives you the tools to manage them from your portal so that you have a centralized point of management of all your mobile apps. What kind of services can you do in the Consumer Manager? First, you have the list of all your corporate mobile apps, and then you have the power resides here. Then you have the power to enable or disable different services that each app is going to use. So for example, Liferay Push, If you had only Liferay push, you could send messages that will get to all your users, but you don't want that, right? You want certain apps to have push notifications, certain apps not to have them. You want certain apps to interact via Liferay screens so that they are personalizable, others not. So having that kind of fine-grained control of what services are available on each app is done via the consumer manager. You can control also the APIs that are being consumed by each of those apps and the list of users of each app, so that if you know a user has been hacked or a user is doing a wrong usage of your app, you can directly ban and remotely cut access to the platform. So you have the full control of what's going on. And why we get this question a lot. Why did you call it consumer manager and not app manager? Basically, we are looking forward in the future. If I showed this slide, or if you showed me this slide 3 years ago, I would say you're talking about science fiction, okay? Beacons, smart cities, smart watches, wearables, smart homes, remote patient monitoring. We are talking, I can assure you that there are projects doing this today with Liferay. So it is not only mobile apps. We are talking about people that are deploying iBeacons on shops to interact with information and sending all the data to Liferay. We know that there are cities sending information of traffic lights, temperature, pollution to a Liferay platform, and then managing all the data from there. So each one in the Internet of Things world, each of those points of data generation are possible consumers of the platform, possible points that are sending data to this platform. So we are trying to provide value also for them. Regarding wearables, for example, we had this presentation last month in a symposium where we know that one of our customers are integrating Fitbit wearables to the platform and then showing different content based on how active or inactive you are walking every day, for example. So or remote patient monitoring, we have several universities and hospitals doing patient monitoring that they don't even just need to go to the hospital. They just have the devices in home and they send the physical data to the doctors that might be 1,000 kilometers away, and that is done through Liferay. Okay? So that's the kind of stories we want to be able to support as a platform. And finally, imagine the amounts of data that we are talking about. We need to measure everything. And we have added an extension to the consumer manager so that you can basically measure everything that is going on those mobile apps. You can know how many downloads, session time, user behavior, retention. These are key metrics because you might have 1 million downloads of your app. Is that success or not? If you have 1 million downloads and they all delete your app 6 seconds after they have installed it, what's your success, right? So we are trying to provide these kind of smart metrics that directly translate in business value for you. And not only about mobile app usage, we are monitoring every single interaction at a level. Like, for example, if you have several forms, you can know which fields are being filled in or which not, which are the submissions, which not, which are the visits of each of your screens in the mobile apps, and also information about the mobile marketing campaigns that you might be running in terms of conversion rates, from interaction, call to action clicks, etc. And that is all. I think we have a couple minutes for questions. I know it's too much information, but if you want to know the technical details, you can go to Silvio's talk later today. If you want to talk about business impact of mobile strategy, you can come and talk to me. I'll be around the whole day, so feel free to come talk to me. Okay, so thank you very much.